Sam, how do you do? Give me five, I'm still alive. Ain't no luck, I learned to duck.
Let's talk about the Grateful Dead. Why are they still so popular?
The Grateful Dead created a legacy of a tremendous variety of music. They started in 1966 as almost like a Rolling Stones cover band and quickly developed into something entirely unique and changed their music over time and built their audience by adding new fans with every sort of revolution in their music. And they didn't lose the older fans, and over time their audience just got bigger and bigger, and with their commitment to technology, they delivered really, really great sound, and the recorded legacy of the band is still out there and available to everybody. So even here, 17 years after Jerry Garcia's passing, new fans are still coming on board because this huge amount of music is available to them.
Well, I think that's a great point, you know, that the fans are still so involved because they have all this connection. Do you think that their dedication to their live performance really kind of, you know, created that devoted fan base?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, that defined the group. I mean, what the Grateful Dead was all about wasn't studio records. I mean, they recorded a number of very solid studio records, but it was getting out there and making the shows. There were no set lists. It was all improvised night after night after night. And in doing so, they gave their audience everything they had every time.
Yes.
And part of that was creating an environment where you could hear it perfectly. You know, in the late 60s, early 70s, audio technology wasn't particularly good. You know, the rodeo had the same sound system that the Grateful Dead did, and until the Dead created their own things. They worked with Macintosh Labs, who are in fact our partner on this exhibit, to create audio and an experience for the fans that was unlike anything else. Fans didn't really buy into it. They decided this is really what helped define them too as music listeners.
Well, yeah, and you know,
And it should also be said that Macintosh, sorry.
Oh, I was saying, you know, working with the Macintosh Labs, one of the things that they did was kind of create this wall of sound, and that's really changed the whole face of performance, hasn't it?
It did, because they and I got to hear that sound system many times. I saw a lot of shows in 1974, and they wanted to create the cleanest possible sound for their audience to hear. And they succeeded in doing so magnificently. I saw shows in stadiums and arenas, and you could hear everything in every corner of that of those venues. And it was because the Grateful Dead were absolutely committed to getting the best possible sound, and that's why they used Macintosh amplifiers.
I think it's wonderful. And Howard, talk about the exhibit, some of the never before seen artifacts that are going to be featured there. What will people be able to experience?
Well, in telling the story of the Grateful Dead and in telling the story of any group, which is what we do here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum, we try to bring the most unique things we can. And there's original artwork. I mean, the Grateful Dead have more visuals associated with them than any other group. But here you'll see the original drawings that made up album covers and concert posters, original handwritten lyric manuscripts, things about what the band did for the fans. Like we actually have the original answering machine from the Grateful Dead hotline. Long before the internet, if you wanted to find out what was going on with the Grateful Dead, you called a phone number and you heard a recording telling you about what shows were coming up for.
Let me just say one thing first before you start.
Sure.
The Grateful Dead, they made me the basketball player that I used to be. They've made me the person that I am today. They're my best friends. They're my heroes. They're my role models. And it's just been a fantastic ride for me. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And what was your question? I'm sorry.
Wave that flag.